Okay, there we go. Good evening. So I've got some really interesting news to share with you in a little bit. But first of all, once again, I'm going to go over the incentives with you guys because I think it's important we ingrain these into our membrane so that we go after them and believe that we can have them. Remember the Vitality Stacks? The Vitality Stack, when you enroll a Vitality Stack, put it on the Holiday Hustle page. If you do not know where that is, let me know and I'll tag you. Every time you get one, that gets you points towards the Mexico incentive trip, and it also will get you towards that 20 that the pros are looking for to have that special dinner and reception with Justin Rose in Anaheim, which is not far away. So be thinking about getting your tickets, booking your airline, who are you going to room with, having them help pay for that down payment for the room. I want you guys thinking about that right now. Pacesetter, this is the last month for Pacesetter. No, it's not. This is the month for Pacesetter when we're looking for those Pro 3s, and the incentive is at $250. So if you are going after Pro 3 this month, let your upline know. Let your upline know so that we can help you set a game plan and get that in motion sooner rather than later, because we're already a third away into April, which freaks me out. Okay, also, so the Mexico incentive trip, there's now a tracker in your back office. And when these things happen, make sure, I don't check my email as much as I used to, I totally get it. But in your back office, you can make sure that when you get a message from your upline or some kind of email or correspondence, that you get a text that you have a new email, and you can ensure that you're going to see that email. So LifeVantage let us know a couple days ago that there's a tracker out right now, and I'm gonna give a shout out to the people in our team that currently sit at 200 points or more towards Mexico, and the first 1,000 points gets you a trip for two, no airfare, but the trip for two to Mexico. So we have Jody Sawada out of Minnesota. We have Charlotte Sherwood out of Texas. We have Vicki Meyergard. Vicki. Okay, there it is. And Rich Scott. Way to go, Rich. Okay, so we have those 4 people have over 200 points. So that's super exciting. If I didn't call your name, no big deal. There is so much time, you guys, to plan this out and go for it. So I hope that you're doing that and you're locked in on that. Okay, next, LifeVantage Academy. It's always, always, always the 3rd Saturday of the month. If you do not have one in your market, and here's where you can find it, bigbluecalendar.com. If you do not have one in your own backyard, there will be one close to you that you can drive to typically. And so look for that because it is worth the drive. We used to drive 5 to 6 hours to Salt Lake City, and you always just get so much amazing information. You meet community, you hear amazing stories. That feeds you. That is a part of the system. When they tell you what to do to get to that next level, going to the events is a part of that. So make sure you get registered for LVA. Just go to lvaacademy.com. and then you can find the city where you register. It's $25 ahead of time, and then $35 beginning that Thursday night before, leading up to the event. Also, we are going to be opening in 7 new markets, and it's not for distributors yet. It's just for customers right now. Those markets are Austria, Belgium, France, Ireland, Italy, the Dominican Republic, and New Zealand. I'd be good with any of those. Anyone else? So don't just go after the bait in the new countries when you see this. You always want to build in your own backyard first, but be on the lookout. Join some groups, whatever it is. That is an exciting thing, you guys, 7 new countries. Okay. Also, what I just found out, Rich would have gotten this too, that someone very big also has just joined our company. So we all know the name Eric Worre. And Tammy, I don't know if you know, but Eric Worre is one of the biggest trainers in network marketing. He trains distributors in many different network marketing companies. And his son, Taylor, became a part of the corporate staff at LifeVantage about a month ago. And that is a really big thing. He could have chosen from any company, and he chose LifeVantage. Well, Eric Worre's mother just enrolled as a distributor under Tara Wilson. Okay? So that is a big flippin' deal. And that means that we cannot waste any time. We just can't. And it doesn't mean I want you to go fishing for the biggest network marketers out there. But it does mean that this is going to start to create a wave. People are going to start talking. People are going to start paying more attention to LifeVantage. This is that moment where you want to touch base with the people that you talked to before, right? This is where the invite is crucial. If we are not adding to our list and we are not inviting people, then we're not going to get anywhere, right? So that goes hand in hand with, with the challenge that I gave you last week, using that tagline, have you ever considered, right? We've got a couple people tonight that have had success with that. I can't wait to hear from them. I had success with that myself. I used it on about 4 to 5 different people over the week, and I just love it because I feel like it's so authentic. So really quick, I want to go over a couple more things, but I told you every Monday night I'm going to share with you a product testimony because I want to continue to build your belief and remember what we have, and stories help you with your toolbox to share these stories with other people that you come in contact with, because we can't be everything to everyone. But when we hear the stories of other people and we know who to go to for those, then we help those other people that we come in contact with that we may not have a personal connection to. So I asked Colleen Holtz tonight, she mentioned a story last week of a customer she had that had an amazing experience. So Colleen, I unmuted you. If you could share with us that story, that would be great.
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
I gotcha.
Awesome. So I reached out through Facebook. I put something on about our product and what it did, and reached out and got in connection with my cousin that I probably haven't seen. I saw him probably 15 years ago, but I haven't even talked to him since. I can't even tell you when. And I fed him information for a while, a month or so, maybe 2. And then he got on the twins, the Nerf 1 and 2. And so I just, knowing he'd been on about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I reached out to him last Monday, said, hey, I'm checking in, seeing how things were going. And he sent back a response, and he said, I've been taking them every day, feeling good, haven't noticed any significant changes, but he really didn't know what to be looking for. So then I asked the questions that Tanya, our wonderful leader, taught us to ask. So he did say he started a PT physical therapy for his neck and a bilateral frozen shoulder, which I was like, well, that can't be comfortable. But he said he's had a good amount of success in a short period of time. And I said, well, that's awesome, because we know that this reduces inflammation, and that's probably helping. And so then I asked him how his sleep was, and, what his energy level was like. And I asked those questions, and then it triggered in his mind. He was like, well, he said, I am actually thinking of canceling my injections for my shoulder because he hasn't felt the inflammation and he hasn't had as much pain. And then he said, he didn't even think about that. He didn't even think about the fact that that is probably the reason he's sleeping better and not having the pain in his shoulders, because that inflammation has gone down. So then he was like, oh, okay, wow, that's awesome. So that was really great. I was just like, there you go. He goes, and this is what he said. I loved it. He goes, hope he, well, let me back up. Okay. Yeah. He goes, didn't even correlate the Protandim with my shoulders progress until just now. This is what's been going on. This has been going on since August. So I have just accepted it as being part of my life right now. But seeing and feeling the progress is like icing on the cake, LOL. So I was like, there you have it. Just follow the system, ask the questions, follow up with your customers. That's a big deal. I have to tell you, I made 4 contacts last Monday. and I got 4 positive responses. And I was like, okay, wow, that is such a cool thing. So,
Good
yep,
job. Thank
yeah,
you, Colleen.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
so
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah, I'll give you guys those 4 questions one more time. I got a new customer started today on the Vitality Stack, and that's exactly what I told her. I asked her those 4 questions. I said, you're going to get your product in 3 to 4 days. And while you wait for it to come, I want you to ask yourself these 4 questions and take note of them, because this is going to be your measuring stick as you're using the products, because you may start feeling better and forget how you felt once you started. And again, it's how's your sleep? How's your energy? Any aches and pains? And do you have any major medical conditions? It's a really great way to help them, just like Colleen did. I mean, he didn't even correlate it, right? How many of us have done that or heard people that have done that? So you're guiding your customer along as you do that. It's just part of our customer care as we do it. Okay, so also today, every Monday we have the Mastermind Zoom, the Pro 5s and up on Michelle and Sean Poe's in their team. And today's was pretty special. And the topic is always, what more can we do for our teams? How can we get them going? How can we incentivize them? How can we help them? Things like that. And Mark Johnson was just recently at an event, like I know some of you were. It was a Marcel Niederhauser event about the Growing Deep. And he mentioned the 4 different categories that one of the gentlemen talked about that he puts his distributors in. And these are the 4 categories. One is a non-participant. They're basically someone that just takes the product. So they've signed on to be a distributor, but not done the business. So they're basically just a customer now. An active non-participant, which is someone that they are showing up, but they're not really doing anything. They just really like the community. A participant is, he kind of participates, but not really a runner. They're showing up, they're enrolling every now and again, but not really a runner, not really engaged fully. And then there's the active distributor who participates in everything. They show up to everything. They're on every Zoom. They're on every training. They're sharing as much as possible. They're doing third parties, and they're a runner. And those 4 categories, when you think of those, I want you to do your own gut check. I want you to ask yourself, where am I honestly in those 4 categories? Where would I put myself? And here's what I would say to you too, because, right, the person that enrolled you, your upline, whatever it is, they can only do so much for you. Your motivation, your drive, what you do day to day, the way that you treat this business. If you treat this business as a hobby, and yet you're looking for runners and you're looking for people that are big heavy hitters in the network marketing industry, you're going to have to start exuding that so that you can attract that. Because if you're not doing that yourself, it's going to be really hard to attract those kind of teammates into your business, right? So I really want you to have that honest moment with yourself and say, where am I? Where do I categorize myself? And here's the thing, you don't have to be one or the other, right? There are plenty of people that they're just happy being a part of the community right now. And they don't want to run. They don't want to go further than that right now. And that's okay. Wherever you land, if you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. But if you're in a position where you're like, this isn't okay, I don't want to be here. I want to be active. I want my upline to know that I take this seriously. I want them to know I want Mexico, but I'm scared to death because I don't know where to start. The only way you're going to get help through that is by reaching out and telling someone that, right? And here's the thing, the starting over, like I said, if you go to the One Person Big Difference page and you look at the live that we did today as leaders, I said to start over, you don't have to do any homework. You can start over at any point. And the greatest thing you could do is just reach up to your upline, communicate where you're at, and they will lead you accordingly. The homework isn't necessary, you guys. You get to start where you left off. And the starting point is simply making that list again and inviting people. That's all it is. No matter what you hear, no matter what video you're shown, no matter what method you're given, the foundation of this business and having success is listening to other people, listening to their hurt and their pains, and meeting them where they're at. So that goes back again to what we talked about last week. Have you ever considered? And if you're going to use those 4 words, you're using them because you've listened to someone's pain. I was just using it this afternoon because I wasn't going to tell you to use them and not use them myself, okay? So I have a gal I've been working on for a long time. She's a manager at Banana Republic. Love her. Her and her husband are both in retail. And for a while, I approached her about the business. I told her straight up, I'm like, I would love to work with you. Your energy, your positivity, everything about you exudes the kind of person that I want to be working my business with side by side. I would love to share with you what I'm doing. She's never done network marketing. She really wants her husband to see it. But it's gone on for quite a while now, us not being able to get together because they're both in retail, so their schedules are crazy. And so I said to her late last week, I go, have you ever considered just getting started on the products, becoming a believer and a lover of the products, and then, when the time permits, then we can talk more about the business. Just getting her started in some capacity, right? And she's like, yes, I want to do that. She's like, I want to sit down with my husband. I would love to look at that. And I'm like, okay, when do you think you could have time to sit down with him? And then I could send you some information. And that is tomorrow night. I haven't sent her information. She said tomorrow night, and then that's when I'll follow up, and then that's when she'll get the information. Because the way that it's already gone on, if I were to send it to her before, I know that it'd just go on and on and on again, and I don't want to be a bother, right? So it's directing her. Have you ever considered? And I had another person that I know who, unfortunately, she went through some tragedy, losing her son a few years ago. And she herself has been going through some really dark moments, and she's had some not good thoughts. And she's just always on my heart. And I know her, but I don't know her too well. But today I sent her a voice message through Facebook Messenger. And I said, Amanda, I want you to know before I even say anything that I'm coming from a place of love. I can't get you off my mind. And I think about you, I think about your situation, and I had to send this message. And then I said, have you ever considered looking at something naturally that could help you through this dark time in your life? That's how I opened it. And she said, yes, she has. She's like, I'd love to know what you know. And so I've been sharing stories, and now the conversation's in motion. And it was just so easy. I just love that it was so easy. So Stephanie also said, sorry, last week that the have you ever considered was kind of a light bulb moment for her. And I want her to tell you guys more of what it did for her and how she used it as well. So I unmuted you, girl. Would love for you to share with us, beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, I had the great opportunity to approach a guy who is coming to do some work on our house. And he's a really, really neat guy and very friendly. And so we were just chit-chatting about his Easter. And I said, I was trying to find a way to chat with him about something besides pavers. We're getting pavers done at our house. And so I just asked him how his Easter was. And he said, oh, it was terrible. His wife was too sick to get out of bed. And it's been an ongoing illness for a long time. And so I just listened to him for about 10 minutes. And he told me everything. And it's really, really sad story. And so I asked him if he had ever considered treating it naturally, because she had been on something like 12 different prescription medications. And I just said, have you ever considered an all-natural approach? And he said, yeah, we have. We just don't know where to start. So I said, I think you need to hear my husband's story, and invited him back again so that he and Tim could connect. And then I didn't quite get it out all the way the second time, but another friend of mine, I ran into her at the courthouse. And she was just telling me about some symptoms she'd been struggling with, and not really a diagnosis, but some symptoms. And so I'd asked her if she'd ever used a probiotic, and she said no. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we have got to talk. We exchanged numbers because we didn't have each other in our new phones. And so I still have to reach out to her. But it was almost a second one.
I love it. And you guys just enrolled another Vitality Stack as well, right?
Yes, it was the Paver gentleman, and she's so excited. She wants to become a distributor, so I think that's going to happen pretty soon.
Yay! And just hearing you say that, like it just flowed. And did it feel like it just flowed? Like, yeah.
For me, that was a light bulb moment because I struggle with the invite. As much as I love the follow up, I love resolving objections, but I don't love the invite. So
You're so twisted that way.
I know. I love arguing with people. I just don't want to invite them to the argument.
As a court reporter, you guys, that's where that stems from. I love it. Thank you for sharing. That's so awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then Laurel, I'm unmuting you. I know you also had an amazing moment too, so tell us how it went down for you.
I do. A coworker asked me if I would order 3 months worth of the Nerf 1, Nerf 2, and probiotic. She typically orders through me simply because, I hate to say this, but we really messed up an auto ship for her about 4 months ago, and so she refuses to get back on auto ship, but we're working on that. And I said, Sharon, I said, have you considered that for a few dollars more a month, you get not only the 3 products that you've been on, but you would get an amazing omega that has vitamin D in it, and it's free shipping. I said, they're called Vitality Stacks. They're amazing. You need to be on them. And she said, sign me up. So just like that, boom, I was able to order get her to order 3 Vitality Stacks. She's a customer, but she's not doing it on an ongoing basis. But she is officially a PC. But it was, like Stephanie said, it was a light bulb moment for me, and so it was so easy, Tanya. It's such a great approach.
Yay! Woo!
I know, right?
I love it.
Yeah,
That's a good order. Congratulations. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful, flowy thing, right? You're just listening to someone and then to just say, have you ever considered? And I got to tell you too, I've even got to the point, you guys, where I hope you have too, where when you're talking to someone like, okay, I'm in this book study with this woman that has missed a lot of them because she has severe migraines that take her down. And she has them like 4 to 5 times a week. And all I said to her was, please tell me you've heard of Protandim. And she goes, no, what is Protandim? And I'm like, okay, I got some stuff I need to send you. Like I said it to her in a way where she had FOMO. Like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to know about this? Like, yes, you are. I'm going to send you some information. So just really be free with it, because the minute you're not free and the minute you hold yourself back and you're thinking too much, they're going to read that. They just are. And again, your business will grow at the speed of trust. So even while you're hearing about, all these people coming in and how the bigwig network marketers are coming in, rather than feeding your mind with, I don't know any big time network marketers. Well, I don't know those kind of people. Well, I'm still working on my list right now. Well, I'm still building connections right now, right? I've had those conversations in my own head. Don't beat yourself up. You do you. Your business should be authentically true to you and the way that you grow it. Just make sure you continue to share. Don't stay quiet. Because if you hear of someone's needs and you stay quiet, you will regret it. And more than likely, they're going to hear from someone else before they hear it from you. And you just don't want to have that. And always know too, as you're building your belief and as you're building your excitement and as you hear about more people saying yes, there's still going to be people that say no. And don't let that halt you. So I'm going to leave you with this. I brought up this quote again. I know we've seen it before, but this is from Bill Britt, right? This guy makes millions of dollars a month in the Amway organization. And here's what he said. He goes, there's no secret. I simply showed the plan to 1,200 people. 900 said no. And only 300 signed up. 300 out of 1,200. That's less than 50%. Out of those 300, only 85 did anything at all. Out of those 85, only 35 were serious. And out of those 35, 11 made me a millionaire. Now, if you could go through those numbers like that and have that kind of outcome and that kind of life-changing income, would it be worth it to talk to 1,200 people? Heck yeah, it would. Would it be worth it to go through the 900 no's? Absolutely. Because along the way, what are you doing along the way, right? I've been in 6.5 years. I am a pro 7. I am not making millions of dollars a month. I mean, I feel like I'm just getting started. And along the way, you know what's happened? I've met all of you. Like, none of you would be in my life had I not said yes. None of you would be in my life had I not continued to move forward. So you are blessed beyond belief as you move forward. And if you choose that active distributor category, that 4th category, you then give yourself access to, you know, people that are coaching you in every way possible. You get to hear how a presentation is done when you plug into using third-party validation. You get to hear about other people's stories when you plug into the training. You get to hear and see what our corporate staff is like when you go to the events in the elite academies. You lose nothing from being an active distributor, but you gain so much. You open your mind and your heart and your life up to just massive ways that you can have. I'll never forget when I was in Amway, you guys, I went cross country with people I didn't know in a van, not a minivan, but like one of those Scooby-Doo vans. It was amazing. To Oregon for a big event. I didn't know any of those people, but man, I was just ready. I was passionate. I wanted to do it. And I remember seeing people on that stage that they showed the pictures, right? They showed the pictures of their estates and their homes and their cars and all these things. But it wasn't flashy. But what it did for me, I was not turned off by it. I got to tell you, what it did for me after hearing those stories is it made me realize I could have what they have. And then along the way, I find LifeVantage, I get into it, I'm growing, I'm doing well, and I take a life from, you know, living paycheck to paycheck, month to month, to suddenly it's better. And then I've rested in the better because life was good. So then I find myself kind of coasting, right? And in management mode, still sharing now and again, but when you're coasting and you find yourself in management mode, you have more susceptibility to look at the shiny bright light sometimes. You have more susceptibility to question the path that you're on. But when you continue to stay active, you don't question it. You don't look at the shining bright light. You know what you know, what you know, what you know. And when you are in that state of mind, people will want to hear what you have to say. And it doesn't mean the timing's right for them. But man, if you can plant those seeds as much as possible right now, you guys, we're this close. We're this close more than ever before. We are this close. So please remember why you got in. Look at life. Where is life lacking right now? Think bigger. Just think bigger. If you could have anything, if you could live any way, what would it look like? And know that you can have it. You are sitting still at the bottom of that S-curve. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Like all of us are still sitting at the bottom of the S-curve. I could cry. Like that's a big deal, right? Right. So don't waste it. And it's so good. I haven't cried for a long time, but just don't waste it. I want you guys to like go on trips. I don't want to go by myself. Rich doesn't want to go to he gets to go to the Bahamas, but okay, Rich, whatever. There's a dollar bill they pass around every time I cry. Ha ha ha. But those trips, I remember every time Michelle goes to, she's like, I don't want to be here alone. I want you guys with me. Imagine all of us together traveling the world and knowing that we got to travel because we changed people's lives, because people said yes, because their health got better, because a paycheck kept them from divorce, or a paycheck kept them from getting foreclosure. Like that's what we have our hands on. So just please, please, please stop with the fear. All of you know what you know, what you know. And it's really just time to grab it, put it in your heart, and just let it go to the world so that everyone can know what you know in the most beautiful way possible. Don't overthink it. Okay, that's what I got. I love you guys very much. Thank you for coming on. I love the stories. Keep using it. Have you ever considered? And keep sharing the successes that you have from it. Okay, everyone have a wonderful night. Good to see you. Mwah. Bye.